$600 billion more dollars being put into the U.S. financial system courtesy of the Federal Reserve. That brings the total amount of Fed money that has been announced since the Lehman Brothers crisis to more than $2.3 trillion.
That's an official admission that we're running a gigantic Ponzi scheme. That's the real reason why this maniac, Ben Bernanke, is doing QE2, because he's trying to buy the treasuries that no one in their right mind would buy. He's monetizing government debt. He's going to destroy the dollar. He's going to destroy the country.
Quantitative easing policies and record spending, inflation is coming.
One country after another has been forced to swallow painful spending cuts after years of borrowing too much. And the U.S. is headed in the same direction.
The trajectory of ours is the same as these other countries. It's just bigger. And there it is. And if it happens, and when it happens, it won't be some slippery slope. It won't be 6 months. It'll be like that.
I am scared to death at the potential that could unwind this country far greater than anything we've ever seen before and far sooner than anybody imagines.
There's real concern among leading financial experts that the U.S. dollar is being debased. If this happens, we could see high inflation, even hyperinflation. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but the danger is real, and we have to prepare ourselves. Hi, I'm Christy Pelletier, and I'm very concerned about the reckless spending in Washington and about a Federal Reserve that is playing with fire by loaning trillions of our dollars to foreign banks and printing money out of thin air. Our federal debt is over $14 trillion and growing every day. Our unfunded liabilities for Social Security, Medicare, and other entitlements is $111 trillion. There's no way we can pay that. Congress will be forced to do something about it starting this year. But whatever is done will be extremely painful and probably won't stop the inflation that may be coming. The good news is there is hope, but we have to take action now. That hope is found in the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, which says, "No state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts." Although states have not coined gold and silver in a long time, the Constitution does allow our state to go on a gold standard. Why gold and silver instead of Federal Reserve notes? First, the Federal Reserve is a private company. Most people don't realize that the Federal Reserve is not accountable to Congress or to the people of the United States. It prints fiat money that has no real value other than what is artificially given it. The only thing holding up the value of the dollar is that it is the reserve currency of the world. That means other countries must use our dollar to buy oil and import goods. That creates an artificial demand for dollars from every nation that buys oil. Unfortunately, there's ample evidence that the rest of the world wants to get rid of the dollar as the only reserve currency for oil. For instance, China, one of our biggest debt holders, is rapidly divesting itself of dollars. Once this happens, the dollar will collapse. Most experts believe that the Fed's policies are now on a path that will make the dollar worthless. On the other hand, silver and gold have real value. These precious metals have an excellent record of keeping their value over long periods of time, even in inflationary cycles. For instance, an ounce of gold in 1915 would have bought a suit, a shirt, tie, and shoes. In 2009, the same ounce of gold could buy a suit, shirt, tie, and shoes. In other words, the purchasing power of gold and silver remains fairly constant over time. However, the $20 cost for the suit in 1915 would cost $500 in 2009. That's an increase of 2,400%. In other words, the same quality suit costs 24 times more in today's dollars than in 1915. That is inflation of the Fed's fiat paper money. If Maine adopted a gold and silver standard, it wouldn't have to be implemented unless inflation started to skyrocket. The law would only be implemented if the dollar fails and we have high inflation or the dollar loses its value completely. Everyone hopes it's unnecessary, but it would provide a safety net should it become necessary. The Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury Department will fight this effort tooth and nail. They want to impose a global currency under their control for the entire world. The private bankers of the Federal Reserve have already profited tremendously at the expense of American citizens in the past. The Federal Reserve will demonize this effort every way they can to get you not to support it. Ignore them. Your family's security is at stake. Thank you so much for your time.